see, here's another thing, right? That these academics aren't going to get. And me and you could talk about this forever, right? Like their stuff ends at the academic research ship. Let's talk about the political. It's 2020. There's been an explosion on traditional conservative women, right? Me and you both know it's a fucking scam.
Yes.
Me and you both know that they're going to regress back to feminism if they need it, right? So, you know, depending on...
It's a good pivot before the end of the election.
Yeah, right? I'm seeing girls all over the place going MAGA 2024 and fucking, you know, I want to be a trad wife and all this other shit. And we know that, like, the female sexual strategy, right, from the academics is to secure the best man that they can, right? And we know that, so that's the scientific side, the academic side. But we know that the reason why women are doing that in 2024, now we're able to take that knowledge and apply it today. Why are they doing that? Because they understand that men that are traditionally conservative Republicans typically tend to have more masculine traits, tend to want to be providers, tend to, you know, understand that they're masculine roles. And that's what women are looking for in a beta-fied, pussified America where men tend to lean more left and think that things are more egalitarian. Can Dr. Buss or these other fucking idiots interpret that? No. They're not going to be able to tell you, yeah, these on Twitter or on social media, or these women that are running around MAGA hats, etc., they're doing it as a part of a sexual fucking strategy. You really think they give a fuck about Trump? They don't even know any of his policies. They're doing it because they know if I align with this tribe, I can find the man that I want, right? And I can go ahead and align myself with these guys because these guys still have the traits that I'm neurologically wanting. They have these provider male traits because I'm tired of dating these that are on the left that are super liberal that think it's okay to split a fucking bill. And perfect proof of this, there was a woman from LA, like hipster, short hair like this, super liberal. She was dressed like a fucking dude, whatever, you know, that weird hipster shit. She admitted, yeah, I went out with this guy who's like a dude, bro, right? That's more like, that's conservative, whatever. And she was like, he paid for the bill. I was really attracted to him. I was like really shocked, etc. So on one end, and she was like surprised by it, but she was attracted to it. So on one end, she's told or she thinks that she's supposed to like this guy that's egalitarian, equal, whatever. But then she meets a guy completely fucking opposite and she's aroused by him and actually is attracted to him. So that girl, right, is like in a weird loop. And she's an idiot. She might still go back with the egalitarian, whatever. The smart girls that are hot, that have higher sexual market value, picked up on this 2 years ago. Right? And they're already like, yeah, I want a guy that's more conservative, whatever. That's why you see these stupid TikTok, literally, yeah, I want a guy that's going to be a provider and take care of me, but I still want him to be like liberal. And everyone in the chat's like, you stupid, whatever, rightfully fucking so. But do you think these academics are going to be able to properly like ascertain and come to the conclusion we just came to?
It's out of their wheelhouse.
It's out of their wheelhouse. They can tell you like women, you know, their sexual strategies to get the best guy that they can, but that's it, ends there. They can't explain to you why these are all going MAGA. They can't explain to you like why these women are going ahead and getting with these like guys that don't align with them politically, but we can.
Yes.
And that's the difference.
And the minute they do, they align themselves with something ideologically, and then they're put in one tribe or one tribe or the other. That's why. So that's why I say they're either unable or unwilling. And usually they're unwilling because the moment they say this is best practices, this is what we've discerned from all of this, then suddenly now their ideological bent becomes made aware. So people can start looking. I always say that like, when I'm talking about certain aspects of like say hypergamy, or if I talk about ovulatory shift, or I talk about dual mating strategy and things like that, I don't think it's going to be evolutionary psychology that proves evolutionary or ovulatory shift or dual mating strategy. It's going to be evolutionary biology. It's going to be hard sciences that are going to show that. And that's the thing is like, so when people say, well, the red pill is dependent just on evolutionary psychology. No, I would say it's even more so on evolutionary biology, because if you look at like the way that, like,
and most importantly, what makes it so difficult and why these academics can't keep up is because you have all these things going on. And then you have the modernity of society. You have trends. Like right now, you have certain political years that affect things, right? That's why all these women are like in the past 2 to 3 years, as we led up to this election year, I've seen an explosion in trad, right? You see trends, you see all this stuff. So like, it's very difficult for an academic to interpret all this information that's coming in rapidly, by the way, and be able to dispense proper advice on it. They just can't, because the research never can keep up with what's going on.
Well, and currently. Then they're only specializing in one field of psychology, right? Or one field that would comprise the red pill. Okay. So like when I say There is no,
and they can only do one at a time. And the reason why is because since they're researchers, they can't put too many variables in it, because then are the results legit? We don't know. Like,
right. Well, and then, okay. As far as research methodology and everything else, is even the data legit? That's a whole nother conversation. The fact is I think what happens is they want so badly to find some way to erase the red pill, to erase to debunk the entire reason for their research is to debunk the red pill. If that's not overt not implicit, explicit bias, I don't know what the fuck is, right? So when I see stuff like that is explicitly, like, even if they say, well, we did this as objectively as possible, but then during their explaining the research to, like, say, a Chris Williamson or something like that, well, it looks like those red pill guys were wrong, or if they were right, they try to downplay it and caveat it away, right? But the reason why they would even do that in the first place is because there is an ideological explicit bias that's already there. What do they accuse us of? Implicit bias. You guys will never listen to anything that's confounding to the red pill. No, we do all the time. And we also compare it not just to evolutionary psychology, but evolutionary biology, sociology, anthropology, endocrinology.
Variances in the girl. Like every girl is different too.
Behaviorism. There's so many other things that go along with that. And that's the problem, is like that.
Some girls require more dark triad than other girls.
Evolutionary psychology is important. It is a keystone element, no doubt. But it only goes to one point, and then you've got other aspects and other fields. That's why I keep saying the red pill is not, like, when people say, "What's the red pill, Rollo? Give me the elevator pitch of the red pill." You can't. It's a fucking college course, is what it is. It's a major. It's not a bumper sticker. Look, the red pill's just this, right? No, that's not what it is. It is all of those ologies, man. It's endocrine. And again, I'm not a brain surgeon. I'm not an endocrinologist. I'm not I'm not a fucking sociologist or an anthropologist or whatever, but I know enough about those fields where I can pull data points from those, and I can connect the dots between those data sets and say, this looks like a dynamic to me. What do you think? Okay. And just me saying, here's the data that I have, and what do you think? That means that I'm trying to convince you of something. Or again, what did I say? You can't give people data without telling them how to feel about it. If I've spent my entire life as a research, evolutionary psychologist, and some Yahoo with no degree, or certainly not in, evolutionary psychology, comes along and says, hey, I'm taking some of your data, and I'm going to use some of your data, and I'm going to correlate it with these data points that I have right here, you're going to be pretty pissed off, because you probably spent the last 8 to 10 years becoming a doctor in evolutionary psychology.
But here's the thing, though. So check this out. Let's say, hypothetically, we were go to a club, right? Mm-hmm. And Dr. Buss watched me go ahead and approach women and do certain things. Mm-hmm. He would probably say, okay, I see why you did that. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So, like, I would exhibit behaviors, mm-hmm. and he would be able to tie it back to his data, mm-hmm. and be like, okay, that makes sense why you did that. Okay, that makes sense. Here, you talked to this girl, then you went ahead and talked to this girl, then you brought that girl back to that group. Oh, wow, you're demonstrating social proof. He'd be able to, like, see, okay, I see what you're doing. But would Dr. Buss go ahead and be able to do that shit himself? Probably not.
Yeah,
wouldn't.
Well, there's a difference between research studies, like where you're putting out like questionnaires for people to say, do you strongly agree, somewhat agree, neutral, or disagree, blah blah blah. Like
theory and application are two different things.
That's one thing to go out there and I'm not saying that, like, qualitative data is completely useless. It's not. But the thing is a difference between filling out questionnaires and going out into the field and observing the gorillas in the mist, right? Go, like, being Jane Goodall or Diane Fossey at I can go to Babes in Toyland, and I'm sober, so I'm watching the humans in their natural habitat. And is that
so many things come into play?
Is Diane Fossey and Jane Goodall's, is their research that they did over the course of decades, observational field work, is that less quality, less value than a questionnaire you do on Twitter? I think it's more valuable because you're there watching it happen live in real time all day long. So you're looking at field research versus experimentative research, which is, fill out this questionnaire. Do you agree or strongly
nothing like
disagree?
These academics and these researchers, right? Like, go on, like, it's completely different to, like, do research and be like, oh, blah, blah, and with control variables and shit. Mm-hmm. Go into a fucking nightclub at night.
Go into the field.
And then loud music. Friends trying to cock block
situational awareness.
Phones, them using their phones. making the right timing, figuring out, social, figuring out, like looking at her body language. Is she here with other guys? Is she in a relationship? Okay, I'm looking at a group of people. There's 3 girls, 2 guys. Okay, that girl's single, that girl isn't. Like the academics can only go so far versus like a guy that's in the field. Dude, a pickup artist is going to have way more application skill sets than an academic. And the beauty is this: if the academic were to watch the pickup artists doing what they're doing, the academic would immediately be able to say, oh, okay, this makes sense why he's doing that, etc. But if we flip the roles, the academic would not be able to do what the pickup artist is doing because they're stiff in their academics.
Because they have no field experience. They don't know exactly. They wouldn't be able to tell. Well, they wouldn't be able to tell you what best practice or even suggest best practice.
Yeah.
There's a difference between theory and practice, right? So that's one of the reasons why I shy away from being too specific about prescriptions. I know you give prescriptions all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of people think I give prescriptions, and if I do, it's never directly. It's always, it will be. It's like maybe it's a suggestion.
Here's a suggestion, yeah,
a suggestion,
or that's something you need to do this shit.
I look at it this way: it's equipping people, it's educating people, and you take that education and then you can use it and apply it to your specific situation.
And guys, get your questions here because we're gonna wrap up here soon.
Yeah, we gotta go because these guys gotta get out of here.
Oh shit, we do. Okay.